You officially announced your campaign back in September. You did a couple events, and I've seen you on Fox News a few times since then. But what have you been up to these past few months?
Well, I got to tell you, a lot of fundraising, which I've come to learn in my years of being a public servant. I didn't understand and recognize how much goes into really raising funds. Very happy about what we've done. I'm certainly not a self-funded candidate. Um, I call myself a blue collar candidate, but I'm very motivated by the number of people that are out supporting us. So meeting with different groups, different businesses, I've had a chance to find out some of their concerns. I met with a group of physicians, restaurant owners, just to find out what the issues are. And it's been eye-opening, certainly been learning experience for me, but people want change. People want change, and I'm going to bring them change.
And you kind of hinted it there. Since you joined the race, we've seen two other guys join the race now who can self-fund, and that's Kevin Rinke and Perry Johnson, the other one who just announced recently.
Yes.
Last quarter, you did raise more money from donors than any of the other candidates, but you also burned more cash than you raised in that quarter. How do you think that campaign's going so far?
Well, I tell you, we've made some changes. One thing I'm very excited about is that we've changed our general consultant. I'm excited to announce that Governor Youngkin, his consulting team is now our consultant team. I've had a chance to have several meetings with that team, very encouraged with the direction. And certainly it was a good fit. I could tell right out the gate between Jeff Rowe, who is the lead consultant on that team. So that's one big change. So I'm excited about it. We have a new campaign manager who is actually part of the campaign as a political director, Adam Wright, and very excited about his new role as the manager.
And when you first joined this race back in September, there was a lot of, wondering if you were actually going to do it. And then you did it. And at first, it seemed like there was a lot of excitement around your campaign from Republican circles. A lot of people said, hey, James Craig's in the race and he's the front runner now. And over these past few months, it seems like that's, faltered a little bit, especially with these, businessmen like Rinke and Johnson joining. Does it worry you having these guys who can self-fund a campaign in this primary race as well?
Not at all. I'm not worried at all. In fact, when I have gone around different parts of the state, gone to fundraising events, meetings, I feel the excitement, the momentum. The first thing people say to me is that they remember 2020, where cities were burning, they were looting, but Detroit didn't. I guess there was a high expectation that if any city was going to burn, it would have been Detroit, given our storied history. But we didn't. Even some of our cities here in the state had looting and burning, but again, not in Detroit. And a lot of people attribute that through leadership, certainly the relationships, coalitions that we built over the years on my watch. And so people haven't forgotten that. And so I see this as an opportunity. I get the self-funding candidates. I'm not worried. I'm going to continue to, run this race. In fact, I'm not big on polls. What I did see, some polls have shown that the governor and I are in a dead heat. Others show me slightly ahead at one point. And so I don't get excited about that. But one thing that jumped out for me was when it was polling to independent voters, and it showed that I was 17% ahead of the governor. And again, of all the polling between myself and the other GOP candidates, I'm still viewed as the leader of the group. So that's encouraging. But again, it doesn't mean I can relax. There's still a lot of work to do, but I see a lot of opportunity.
And on the other side of things, we see some of these other grassroots candidates who are more to the right of the Republican Party, and they've already started doing some jabs at you, saying this is a guy who supported masks when he was working in the Detroit Police Department. This is a guy who was a Democrat, self-admittedly, a couple decade ago or so. What do you say to them?
Well, they are the one, I'm the one that they want to overtake. So I'm not shocked by that. The one thing I'm not interested in doing is battling with other GOP candidates. My focus is on the governor, only that. So I expect it. But I will tell you, when people try to label me maybe as not conservative enough or maybe not a real Republican, I admit I grew up in Detroit. I was a Democrat. My parents are lifelong Democrats. But one thing I have been, I've been a conservative. I've been in law enforcement for 44 years. Police officers, by the nature of the work we do, we tend to lean very conservative. I am a conservative. Now, over time, I transitioned from Democrat to Republican. So I think my record speaks for itself. We focus on serving people. I'm not a political servant. I'm not in this, but for one thing, to serve the people of Michigan.
And I know you just said you don't want to go, battle with the other Republican, your Republican opponents in the primary, but I have to ask you about something because it's a national news story at this point. One of your opponents, Garrett Saldano, is catching a lot of heat for essentially saying rape victims should not get abortions because the baby might be the next president. What do you think about those comments?
Wow, I didn't know it was to that extent. I'm pro-life. And certainly, if, God forbid, a woman is a victim of rape, we have resources to take care of that child if that woman decides that she's incapable and unwilling to do so. I'm pro-life and I stand firm on that. But I don't understand the comment he would make that if that person can be the president of the United States. I think the only time that the issue would be a concern is if the baby's life was in jeopardy, the mother's life was in jeopardy, then some decisions have to be made by a medical professional, but I'm pro-life.
And so for clarification, you say you're pro-life, but what about in, cases of rape or incest?
I'm still pro-life. As I indicated before, there are resources that we can make available to a mother giving birth under those circumstances, that if the mother chooses not to continue to care for the child, there are other options available.
And then let's talk policy. So we just saw Governor Whitmer's State of the State last week. She talked about some of the progress on infrastructure, her future priorities, which include, repealing the retirement tax, capping cost of insulin at $50. What do you think about those policies, and what's your general thoughts about her State of the State?
I wasn't overwhelmed. It wasn't overwhelming. Look, this is election year. There are things that she's doing right now, like, for example, what comes to mind, 1 minute she says, well, I'm not for vaccine mandates. And then within weeks of that statement, she says she supports President Biden's vaccine mandates. So which is it? Here's the issue. When we talk about our state, two things come to mind. We don't have an urgent enough response in dealing with the economic and educational challenges that we all know exist in our state. If we don't take care of those issues, we'll never see being one of the top 10 states in our country. We have to focus on education. We have to identify talent so we can continue to increase our labor force. Economic growth, we need more people in our state, and we need to create more businesses. That's critically important, but we have to create a business-friendly environment. We saw what happened with some of the draconian measures with, mandatory masks, the shutdowns, and the impact that's had on our economic situation here in our state. And then we see a report that comes out today that says shutdowns didn't necessarily change the mortality rate. I think it was like a 0.2%. And so it didn't work. So are we following political science or the real science? And I have to applaud what states like Arizona and Florida have done, keeping their state open. The fact that we've had to shut down and keep our children out of schools. What impact has that had? I would say tremendous impact. Even before the shutdowns, our literacy rate is horrible. So that has to be an urgent response to fixing that, make sure our children are being educated, because we don't do that now. What does that say about the future of our state? Critically important. And then when we talk about what's going on in Flint right now, Flint is going into virtual learning indefinitely. Well, here's what I know about Flint. Right now, Flint, when K to 3, children K to 3, by the time they're in the third grade, only 10% can read the third grade level. In Detroit public schools, it's 8%. That's a failing grade. So we've got to do better. It has to be a priority, and it has to be a sense of urgency.
And as governor, how would you, work to fix some of those issues when it comes to the literacy rates?
Well, first of all, when you talk about the literacy, we got to hold folks accountable. I think there's one thing that is missing in a lot of our states now is who are the true stakeholders when it comes to educating our children. It's the parents. The parents count, not the special interest groups, not the unions, but the parents. Our schools must be focused, student focused. That's one way. We also have to empower and embrace and give our teachers increased opportunities. I think that's something that's missing, but we have to consider what's important, our literacy rate, and I reject any indoctrination type teaching along the lines of critical race theory. I know here in Detroit, embedded in the curriculum is CRT. We know just recently it came out that I think it was Rochester School District has some kind of equity type indoctrination into their curriculum. We should be teaching our kids to read so they can read to learn.
And then you also talked about, there needs to be a way to build a better or foster a better business and grow business here in the state. We did see some bipartisan work that led to the GM deal, which was obviously a huge announcement here. With the fund that helped drive that, do you agree with how they went about doing that? And if you were governor, how would you work to make this a better state for businesses and more attractive for them?
Well, I think I'll use the example of the recent loss of Ford Motor Company's investment. As you know, 2 major electric vehicle operations have moved to 2 southern states, Kentucky and Tennessee. The initial response to this administration was, well, we didn't know. And then later, a response was, well, it's economic development. Those are excuses. Look, the 3 major entities in our state that drive our economy is manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism. And so what I would do very differently, first of all, the automobile industry is the underpinning of manufacturing. It would seem to me that we would have the kind of relationship with the automobile industry that we would be meeting, having discussions. We would know if there was a plan to expand their operations. And if we don't know it, it's because we either don't care or we're not meeting with the heads of Ford, General Motors. And so I look back at what happened here in Detroit when I was still the chief, and the mayor did a phenomenal job relentlessly and in an urgent way getting Stellantis to open its newest plant right here in the city of Detroit. Certainly they were looking at other options, but for the first time in 30 years, a plant was opened here in Detroit to build the new Jeep Wagoneer. It's possible. We just have to have a relationship where we're sitting in a room with folks, having conversations, and let's make incentives, not only to keep the businesses we have here in our state, but also attract new businesses. That's the only way we're going to be in the top 10.
And we only got a couple minutes here left, but the primary, more than 6 months away still. What do you plan on doing in these next 6 months or so to, get voters and get Republican voters and eventually win that primary? And what's your message to Michiganders on the other side of the aisle or independents who still don't know what they're going to vote for next November?
Well, I'm a demonstrated leader, not someone who read a book on leadership. I've led through crisis, not just in 2020, but throughout my entire policing career. But part of effectively managing crisis is building relationships with folk. And so when you talk about bringing people together, regardless of what aisle they sit on, first and foremost, that's why I brought the issue up of independent voters. This is not about the CEO of the state. It's not about me as the police chief. When I was in Detroit, it was about Detroiters. As the CEO of the state, it's about Michiganders. And so sometimes you have to sit in rooms with folks that you, frankly, are not always going to agree with. You know, a lot of politicians talk about being unifiers, but when it comes right down to how much unification are they involved in? How often are they sitting down really trying to reach common solutions for the betterment of the people? That's what public servants do. But political servants, it becomes very partisan. So that's what Michigan can expect out of me.
All right, Chief Craig, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too as well.